Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking over my jelly gouache. We got the Himi brushes, but we have the 24 pack of jelly gouaches that have been probably sitting for almost a year now. Maybe not a year, maybe like 3 or 4 months. But I'm finally using them today. First, we gotta make sure to get my water in a spray bottle because we use distilled to make sure our paint does not mold. We're not trying to have mold in this house. So, first, we gotta get some water in a spray bottle so we can use it a little bit. And now, let's do the grand reveal. We got the little palette right here. We got my favorite mechanical pencil. And just look at how pretty all of this is. It is so mentally satisfying. So we have my first color here, which is black. No one warned me these things were so hard to open. What in the heck? You don't even want to know how long this takes. And here we go. I think I finally got it. I think I only want to keep them open halfway. Now we got the next one, which looks like burnt umber or ultramarine. I really can't read. We got the next one, which again I can't read, so it's some form of blue. We got the next one, which might be ultramarine. We got this one, which looks like sky blue. We got this one, which looks like, oh, the other one might be acid blue. This one might be sky blue. I don't know. This one is, what is this? We got the next one. That peel is satisfying. We got the first greenish one. Ooh, that went open like a dream. We got this one, which looks like a yellow green. I like that color. We now got this brown one, which looks like burnt umber, I would say, or ochre. Looks like burnt umber. We now have the next one, which again I still can't read. This one might be ochre. And the next one. And the next one. Looks like Ponku. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. We now got the medium orange. We now have the next one. And the next one. This one's pretty. I like this purple. We now got the next one. I really like this color. I really love this pale purple color. It is very, very pretty. But it has that weird gray film in it, and I don't know if it's because I let these sit for so many freaking months. I would generally have to look, but I know they definitely sat for a while. Um, I bought them off Amazon, and then this is the first time I'm using them since I bought them. So they probably all just need a really, really good mix, honestly. Let's take this little lid off. I was going to try and keep the lids on them, but they all need a really good mix. And I got it all over my hand. So maybe the lids do have to come off. We now got this little circle chart that I downloaded off of Canva because I'm not creative. I can't do this on my own. And also, I want certain sizes for everything because I need everything to line up perfectly. Because I have a Prismacolor one that I also have created. So, yeah, we definitely want that. I'm now just going to quickly write down all of the names for all of the gouaches, kind of in like the order that I have them in my palette. Of course, this little freaking paper gets wet, This is just computer paper, but hey, you know what? It does the trick. It does warp a little bit over time, but it's okay. As long as we just have a nice swatch of all of our colors, we are okay. Now we got the pretty violet. And now we're just going to start taking all of the lids off of them so that they can just sit out, because again, it's just not going to work in my favor being able to keep the lids on them, because I had seen someone on TikTok do that, but alas, I just can't be that person. I like having them all open. Yes, I know this imposes more of a risk on my poor carpet, but it's okay. It's worth the vibe. And yes, I don't know how this happened, but just watching these things and it's all over my hand. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. I have to be quiet for these peels. These are so satisfying. I think this is my favorite part. And this one is being a pain. Come on out. We got the white. I think this one's already opened. Come on. All right, back to trying to open this freaking green. I don't know why after trying for almost 10 minutes it finally works. I'm saying these should come with a tab so I can open them easier. I've never struggled opening something so much in my life before getting this freaking set. Here was the first one that started my problems, that blue in the corner. It's definitely looking a lot better. And the next one, this one's already open, so I can just peel the lid off. And I think this is the last one. This has never felt more like a chore than it does today. But we're gonna make sure I give it a good whisk. Make sure it's all mixed together and it looks really, really pretty. I love the fact that you can see my fan in the gouaches because it looks like they're like moving. That is so funny. And make sure to get the last little dot in. Yes, it's really thick. No, I do not care today. But here we go. We finally have all of the swatches. We're going to let that dry for a little bit. And now let's get into a drawing, I guess. Yeah. Um First impressions of this gouache while I do this quick little speed paint behind and move my freaking Stanley so it doesn't get in the way. Um, I don't mind these gouaches. As someone who has mostly ever used acrylic in her life, I kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything, but these, especially when I don't use them with a lot of water, definitely reminds me a lot of acrylic, which I really love acrylic. So to me, these will be more fun to more understand. However, I do realize that the more water you add, the more watercolor they start to perform like, and I just do not do well with watercolor. Um, I definitely think I still need to just better understand these to get the perfect washes and stuff like that. It's just gonna take time. I'm not really ever a perfectionist when it comes to trying them out the first time. Um, but I had seen this little thing on Instagram Reels that I wanted to give it a little try. I wanted to do this in a woohoo markers like they did, but I decided since I was doing gouache, I wanted to try and gouache. Now I thought I was being really pro by um wetting the brush all like off camera, or when I go off to the side like that, wet the brush so that the brush is wet. But I think I honestly just needed to add more water to the gouaches. Maybe, maybe not. I also only had 1 cup, so when I would have to clean the brush, it would get really, really dirty. I also experimented with trying to just wet the paper, but as you can see, I just felt like I struggled a little bit more. Um, Also, I didn't really play around with using the little pad to be able to mix colors. So I really was just going off of base colors today. I did not want to have to go into all of that intricate sideways colors, kind of like what the original had. It was more just based off of blending and using baseline colors. But again, I definitely am not a fan of how this drawing really, really went. I just felt like there was just a lot that I just didn't understand, but it's okay. We make mistakes and we learn. I really just, again, I don't do well with new mediums usually, especially things that include a lot of water, because I'm just really bad with water control and understanding how much water I should be putting on my brushes, because I always put like 10 times the amount more or 10 times the least amount. There's honestly never been any in between with me, and you kind of get used to it. Another thing is also I wish I would have washi taped it to my table so that I did not have to keep worrying about making a mess, because I made such a mess with all these gouaches. It was starting to kind of irritate me. Another thing where I also went wrong, where I will completely admit, is I just went in this blind without doing any form of, I guess I would want to say, like underneath drawing, which typically I do tend to lean that way more, because it does help give me a rough idea. And I think not doing that kind of didn't help me in the end either. Um, Again, because I'm a pencil artist, so with that, I felt like I could have also done better had I done that, but it's okay. You learn from your mistakes and you do better next time. I've honestly been looking for something to color my 600-page sketchbook. If you've been following that series, you know. But I have a 600-page sketchbook, and I finally decided I wanted to do some more intricate drawings, because I know everyone in those big books only did like a drawing like 10 pages a day to complete it in like a month. And they weren't their best drawings. They're just kind of drawing them to get it done, which I respect. I respect the hustle. But that wasn't me. That's not what I wanted to do with the sketchbook. I wanted to make it drawings that I was proud of. Because not only was this book expensive, but to me, I had spent a lot of my time drawing sketchbooks that just looked like I half did them. Like I honestly just did them to finish the book. And I generally wanted to show myself that I could do more. Now, off the 600-page sketchbook, I did grab out my little flower mixing pad. I bought this from like Michael's years ago. And as you can see, I did try to hand draw in my own trees with the paint. I felt like that really wasn't helping me at all. Again, this is where I felt like I took the turn for the worst, was trying to hand draw the trees on my own and not using more of the white to kind of help me get a little bit different tones and shadows. Again, to me, I will highly, highly admit this was not one of my best drawings possible. But I definitely gave it my best whirl, as everyone else does. I try to just have more fun, let loose, because, if you don't like something, either then starting over, what was I going to do? I did finally washi tape it to my desk because it was starting to irritate me not being able to do much. I honestly need to get me some freaking painter's tape next time because I used to have some that I bought from Dollar Tree in my local town, and I used it all. And I have not bought any more since. And these washi tapes are too freaking expensive to be doing this. I bought these from Michael's to do a fun little thing with my sketchbooks because I was doing a redraw challenge of my first 10 sketchbooks. I'm honestly probably going to do up until like my 30th sketchbook. Just because at some rate, that's just kind of where it'll have to end. But again, we're not talking about anything else. We're just talking about this drawing. I get so sidetracked. I really like these dark green tones. They were especially my favorite. I didn't like the one though because it was a little more bluey than I thought, and that kind of irritated me. Here I went in trying to fix the water and, make a little something more. Yes, I do that a lot with my left hand. No, I do not know why I do that. Don't question it. Just leave it alone. My left hand tends to get in the way. If I could have two right hands instead of one left hand, I'd be happier. So now here we are just trying, this is where especially my problem consists of, is I'm really bad when it comes to small detail with big brushes. My hands shake tremendously, and trying to get in those small little details like that is just not good for me. So I definitely have been trying to come up with more ideas so that I am not hand drawing in all those little details and instead trying to make it look like I drew all those in when I didn't, if that makes sense. Here now I'm trying to just darken up some of the tones because this is where I was really starting to hate it. Everything was just kind of blending together and it wasn't the piece that I thought it was going to be. So I was getting a little frustrated and a little irritated. Again, it had nothing to do with the gouache. It was purely on me. But maybe one day I will redraw this drawing. But that's not going to be today. Today, it is just going to be probably left to sit in one of the books. Here now we're trying to add a little bit of white. And I think here is where I realized that I did not like that at all. I realized right there how much right there. I think I fixed it when I added the white a little bit to make it look different, but I'll let you be the judge of that. I think the white generally wasn't a good idea like I thought it was gonna be. Um, Maybe add the other color back on top of it. Definitely add a little something something to it, but the highlight of the white just was not giving. But again, I completely got that though when I did it because as you can tell, I was just not liking it. So I was like, I'll just go back over it, and at least if it's just solid colors, I'll deal with a solid color versus this really ugly white spot because I cannot do this white spot. I still kept trying to do the white spot. I don't know why. I think instead I decided to make them more fairy-like, because that is what the drawing I think had. Also, I've been really inspired by the Minecraft Fireflies, so I feel like that's kind of where this vibe came from, even though the Minecraft Fireflies were not out at the time of making this video, so that just tells you what you need to know. Also, I did try to just stick with the brushes that they gave me. That was also another bad idea. I have a ton of brushes that I bought from Artify. They're black painted oak brushes, whatever. But I have my own brushes, so I guess I should have definitely gotten them out and used them. But the problem is though, is it looks like that these paint dry to the bristles and you just can't get it out. Now, my local store, without going into too much detail, has something like a brush washer, so I might invest in that, honestly. But this was this drawing. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of the final outcome, but it's okay. We gave it a good whirl, and that's all right. And as you can see, I'm messy. But don't forget to like if you liked, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye.